This is Donnie Goins. Donnie is also an 85 graduate of state. He was in electrical engineering, but he also has an MBA from Duke. So we don't hold that against him. Donnie is a serial entrepreneur. I think you have 2 companies currently, 2 startups?
We actually have 2. Actually, we just started one on Friday. So we're brand new and we incorporated on Friday.
And for those of you all who went on Silicon Valley, his wife Skyped with us, Mike Kindred.
Yeah, Laura Kindred.
Yeah.
They've got their first customer sign up and be launching in January with one of the local churches here. They're going to have about 4,000 people on the system right off the bat.
Wow. Awesome.
So they're pretty happy.
So as you see, Donnie has a lot of information, and we'll just turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, thanks for letting me come out here. What I want to do today is I'm going to give you a visual, something that hopefully you'll take with this the rest of your life and kind of keep it along the way. But there's 2 things here. There's a symbol right there. And when somebody can tell me what that symbol is along my talk, I'm going to give you $20 so you can go out to eat tonight. So that means something, and somewhere along the path, I'm going to tell you exactly what that means. And if you figure it out, I'm going to give you a $20 bill so you can go out and have a nice dinner or a pizza. All right? So it's funny because Dr. Miller, Megan, they sent me this email to talk about the talk, and I said, well, do I need to bring a presentation? What do I need to do? And Dr. Miller said, no, just tell your story. So I thought, oh my gosh, tell a story. So yesterday, I'm training for a marathon, so I had a 20-mile run yesterday. So it took me 2 hours and 51 minutes, so I had a lot of time to think about the story, right? So what I'm going to do is tell you about this new company that we just incorporated on Friday, and we just started the patent process today. I'm going to tell you how that we got this thing started, and then I'm going to go back and link it to just very quickly through what I think are some key points in my life, and then try to tell you what I kind of learned from those key points to help me figure out how to do this company. So, the new company. We launched on Friday, we incorporated on Friday, and it all got started probably about 2.5 months ago. Chris Evans, which some of you guys may know or may have met, Chris is came to NC State here, started 3 companies, I think, in the past. I know at least 2, maybe 3 companies, been very successful. He and I usually have lunch every now and then, and we had lunch, and at the end of the lunch, we talk about different companies and stuff, and he says, I got one more thing I want to tell you about. He says, I want you to check it out and tell me what you think. He says, there's this Russian guy running around with another guy, and he has this drink. And it's a kid's drink, and he says, but he has a really cool dragon that comes out of this drink, and it's really cool. He goes, will you go look at that? Because I know a lot of stuff about augmented reality. He's done some work in that area. So he said, will you go take a look at that for me and tell me what you think? I said, sure. So about a week later, I get this email. Chris introduces me to this guy named Peter Anthony something Van Wakkeren. Now that's quite a name. Born in Brazil. He's lived in Holland, and he's done most of his work in Russia. So he's quite an interesting character, great guy. And he had a partner with him, a sidekick named Keith. So I went over to meet with him at this coffee shop, and I get there, and they have this little drink there sitting on the counter, and we sat there and we talked for a while, and I said, hey, we've created this drink that's really good for kids, because, you know, the obesity with kids now is really bad, but we've got this drink that's a lot less sugar, and it's good for kids. And he goes, we want to sell this drink. And I look at him and I go, you're kidding me. He goes, no, no, no. He goes, this is a good drink. I go, have you walked down a Walmart store and looked how many drinks there are in a Walmart and Target? I said, how are you ever going to get this drink for anybody to notice it? He said, well, let me show you. So he's got the thing on the table, so he pulls out his phone and he holds it up to it, and all of a sudden, I mean, there's no QR code, there's no markers. All of a sudden, this beautiful dragon comes out. And I can take the phone and I can look over top of the dragon, I can look under the dragon, I can look around the dragon, every which way. And I go, that's really cool. And he goes, yeah, and this drink is going to be awesome. I go, I don't care about the drink, I care about the technology. So he said, oh, but you've got to invest in the drink for me. I need money for the drink. I said, no. So a week goes on, he sends me another email, actually calls me and says, hey, will you meet me again? I said, sure, but I'm really not interested in the drink, I'm interested in the technology. So I meet him again, but this time I say, you got to come to where I'm at. So he comes over to where I'm at. And he gets in, he tells me about the drink again, and at the end I said, look, guy, I'm just not interested in the drink. I have no desire to invest in drinks. I mean, Walmart's got plenty of them. So what I didn't know is he was heading to Target, the headquarters at Target the following week, and meeting with the corporate headquarters team at Target. And the reason he was able to do that is his neighbor actually is the manager of one of the Targets here, so he actually had access to get this guy a meeting. So he goes to Target, takes the two engineers with him, the engineers that I actually know and trust. So he takes it in there, he goes into Target, he puts the bottle on the table, and he proceeds to tell them, I want you guys to sell my drink because this is good for kids. We want to do things that are good for kids. So Target looked at it, yeah. And they said, well, how are you going to distinguish this from others? So he pulls out his phone, he takes it, and he shows them this dragon again, and they're blown away, right? They're like, oh, this is great, this is awesome, right? And he's sitting there thinking like, they love my drink, and he goes, so how many cases are you going to buy? They go, oh, we don't like the drink. We don't care anything about the drink. We think the technology's cool, right? So he's like, really? You know. So basically, on the way back, he calls me up and says, Donnie, he goes, you win. I need to talk to you. I said, what's wrong? He goes, they think the technology's cool, but they don't like the drink. He says, well, you want to talk about the technology? I said, sure. So we spent the next few weeks meeting several times to talk about this technology and what we could actually do with it, right? So we basically sat around and we created all of these hypotheses of what we thought the technology could be used for. And at the same time that this was actually happening, I wear contacts, and I was at Walmart, and I was looking at, they have something called the Equate brand, which is their private label brand. And then there was like the Renew brand for contact solutions. So I'm looking at it, one's $5 and one $8, I don't know exact numbers, so like $5 or $8, right? And I'm going like, well, I'm a cheapskate, right? Tom Miller's here, he'd tell you that I'm a cheapskate. Actually, Marshall and I have had these conversations before. Marshall and I both are cheapskates. So we're looking at this thing going like, what am I going to, why, I want to buy the $5 one, but am I sure I'm getting a good quality product? At the same time, my little daughter's going, Dad, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So, I couldn't make a decision. And I thought by myself, wow, instead of a dragon coming out of that product, wouldn't it have been cool if I had held my phone up to it and all of a sudden a 3D or some kind of animation came out and gave me all the information I needed about that product, that I could have made a purchasing decision right then and there without having to think about it? Because if it would have came out and said to me, hi, the active ingredients here are the same as in the Renew brand or any other brand, I would have bought it just like that. So it hit me when I was thinking about it is wow, this technology can be applied across all these different product areas. So then I started walking around in Walmart and Target, right? So I go over, we go to church on Saturday night, so I end up going over on Sunday mornings, and I take my little daughter, and she goes, what are we doing? I said, we're going to go walk around Walmart, we're going to walk around Target. So I'd walk around in the stores and see where are there people that are looking at products trying to figure it out. And there were two specific areas. One is in the pharmaceutical area, people trying to understand what they're trying to buy. And the other one was over in the health food area, right? So I just walk around Walmart, right? Here's this crazy guy with his daughter walking around Walmart. Not buying anything, just walking around Walmart. So we walk around. Well, those are kind of the two areas. So we created all these hypotheses about the product. We created hypotheses about how we make money on it. And actually, I've shown this to Brian. He's actually, Marshall, and he's actually seen it. But we had a chance to go meet three potential, what we think are customers. Okay, now we haven't even incorporated at this point, right? This is still vaporware. We got a couple engineers working on it. I mean, they got the dragon stuff, but mostly the stuff is being developed. So we get a chance to go meet in New York on Long Island with a company called Arizona Beverage. You ever heard of Arizona Beverage? They make tea, the #1 tea maker in the United States. So we get a chance to go meet with the founder of there. And what I think is going to be a 15-minute, what I've been told is going to be a 15-minute meeting at a coffee shop, turns out to be going to his corporate headquarters. So my partner, Phil, and I, we fly up there, we go down to his corporate headquarters, what I think is going to be, again, a one-on-one meeting, very casual, right? Walk into the room, this 5,000 square foot room office. And there's this guy who's 6'8". So the founder is 6'8", gigantic. There stands his son, who's 6'9" beside him, right? So, and then all around him is like 9 other guys. His whole C-level team is in this room. He goes, we want to hear about, we've heard such good things on the phone. We want to see this, right? So I'm thinking like, oh, this is not going to be good. I did not come here to talk at this, this many people. So I said, okay, so we do a little demo. We have another little demo we do. So I did a little demo and got their attention. So I said, well, how much time do you guys have? He said, we got 30 minutes. So then I did the demo. That 30-minute meeting turned into 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. And because it's being taped, I can't tell you some of the confidential stuff, but what I can say is that Arizona Beverage is launching drinks with celebrities and sports celebrities. And what they saw is the ability to really try to make something exciting with their beverages. So, you know, you've got the Arnold Palmer beverage, which they have the Arnold Palmer tea and lemonade. You've got the Jack Nicklaus. And one of the things they talked about is, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could hold up your phone and all of a sudden Jack Nicklaus came out in 3D and gave you a cocktail? Okay. Well, one of the celebrities that they want to launch with us with is a very well-known celebrity in the snow and ski industry. And again, being on here, I can't say, but because it's going to be launched at the end of the year. But what we end up talking about is that now with our technology, we give them the ability to, in real time, take and scan the bottle and change the messaging. So for instance, what's going to happen is there's going to be this snow bank that gets created over 6 seconds. Then the bottle's going to open up, and the snowboarder is going to come out of there and snowboard. He's going to do a 1080 and land down next to a jumbotron, and then he's going to jump up and say, "Hi, I'm such and such. Thank you for buying my beverage." And then the next month he's going to have a whole new message, and the next month he's going to have a whole new message. And what we're doing is we're giving manufacturers the ability in real time to interface to their products. So if you think about what we're doing, is that for 100 years products have sat on shelves and all they've had is this simple little label on that product. You know, there's a few QR codes. Matter of fact, 15% of all products have QR codes, but 100% of all products have a logo or have something to distinguish them. And what we're doing is we're going to take every one of those products and make them come alive. So now the manufacturers can talk through their products to their consumers at the time the consumer needs to make a decision. I mean, that's very powerful. Think about how many times you've gone in a store, looked at a product, and tried to make a decision and couldn't make it because you didn't know, right? I had a friend who just bought a new house in Tahoe, and he needed to buy TVs. He went in and scanned 11 different TVs and went home and did the research on Google. Wouldn't it have been nice if he could have just simply walked in, held it up to this TV and said, "Oh, the Consumer Report came in number 3, but all of a sudden got to this TV and Consumer Reports said it was number 1. He said it because if he knew that Consumer Reports was number 1 on that TV, he would have bought it right then on the spot and walked out the door. So think about that manufacturer being able to interface with that.